Hey, Rob here from Handmade Extreme. Remember that little stainless steel hot shoe that I made for a friend of mine a few weeks ago? Well, he took it to a local company to have some hard surfacing put on the bottom, and this is what it looked like when he went to pick it up. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. They've had a go at fixing it, and this is the best they've been able to manage within the time, I think. Now, you might remember that when I built this was all cold formed and then welded together. I think to fix it though, because the hard surfacing is such a thick layer on the bottom, we're going to have to use some heat to fix this. Okay, that's putting a bit of curve back into it. Right. Lots of big cracks. Wow. Now we've got a little bit of that rocker back in, front to back. So that area that's touching there now on the bench is the area that I've just been working. You can see that we've now got this kind of little hollow just here. So what we'll do now is we'll do another heat, and then we'll go in with a smaller ball peen hammer and try and bring this area here down to get a more continuous contact patch. Let's get the sides bent out, and then we can let it cool and see if the boot still fits. Come on. Nope, it looks like Cinderella's not going to the ball tonight because the shoe does not fit. Oh, it's close. Basically, the shoe is now too short. I suspect when the hard facing's gone on, it's pulled so hard when it's cooled, when the weld's cooled, it contracts. And it's pulled so hard, that was what created that big banana shape when Danny went to pick it up. And it's shrunk the length of the shoe, which makes sense as to why we've gained material here. Because if this bit's got shorter, that's had to get wider, so these are pushed out. I think what I'm going to have to do is basically heat up this whole area and then try and draw out the length of the shoe. Here's a little problem. I've just ran out of oxygen in the torch. You can tell by all the black soot that we've got here. And well, the big telltale was I went and looked at the regulator and it was on 0, which means I'm probably going to have to do something I really didn't want to do. Once the fire's up to temperature and we'll get this in, I'm going to have a go at stretching it, and if I can stretch it at all, which I have to admit I'm not overly optimistic about, I can't keep putting the boot in and out because it's going to be hot and it will damage the boot to check if it fits. So I've made this little gauge, and the idea is that at the moment the gauge is a little bit bigger than the boot, but once I've stretched it enough, then hopefully it will touch at both ends, and then I can cool it down and we can try it on the boot. I've got most of the compound curvature back, which is fantastic. Really happy about that. Got a nice rocker front to back and side to side now, and the bottom is looking decidedly better. A few cracks to deal with, no surprises there. The boot still doesn't fit. It's a couple of millimeters short. I think at best I probably stretched it 2 millimeters, and I needed closer to 6 or 7 maybe. I think what I'm going to do is just cut the heel out around here, move it out slightly, and then just fill the gap slightly. Before I do that, we'll just do a little bit of cold work, just sort these edges out. I've just made a little spacer piece to go in here. It's just a bit of stainless, the same as this, slightly thicker so that I can grind it down after I've welded it, and then hopefully you won't see the joint. So that'll go in there like that, and then we can grind the end of this to match that back edge, and then tack that on there. Do the same process on the back side as well, and then I can make a little infill piece for here underneath the heel. Okay, that's tacked up. Let's have a go at making a new piece to go in there. I've just used the angle grinder to grind out the worst of the forging marks, and then hit the sides with 120 grit flapping disc to get rid of the worst of the angle grinder marks. The next job is I've got a few cracks in the hard facing. Hopefully you can see those on the camera. What I'm planning on doing is treating this a little bit like cast iron. I'm going to preheat the whole thing, or try to, with what I've got. I'm out of oxygen for the acetylene torch. I'm out of charcoal for the forge. So I'm just going to try and get it as sort of evenly preheated as I can to just a couple of 100 degrees C with the propane torch. It's only a little handheld one, so wish me luck. And then run over these with the TIG, just basically melt them back together. And then we'll get onto it with the surface finishing discs and get the surface back ready for polishing, and then hopefully we'll be about there. Okay, here we go. I'm not trying to put filler in or make it pretty. I just want to get rid of worst of the crack. Oh, there we go. Chasing the crack along. Oh dear, I've lost it. Where's it gone? There it is. Right, let's get back on it with the torch. So I'm just keeping the torch on it just to basically allow it to cool down a bit slower. I've just got that in some sand now just to try and slow its rate of cooling as much as I can, hopefully to prevent any further cracking. there we go. Hopefully Danny likes it. He can have it back now that it's finished. If you're new here and you haven't already, then consider pressing the subscribe button. I'm guessing you've enjoyed it if you've made it this far through the video. If you've got a friend who you think might like this, give the video a share. I really appreciate that. It gets more views and really helps the channel. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there's a scratch there. Oh, come on.